If you know how to write an equation of a line that contains 2 points, you are all set to write a line of best fit. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to write a linear model to represent a collection of data points. So we're just going to try to take what we have done already and insert it into some real life situations. All right, when there is a relationship between data, you can find a line of best fit, and actually it needs to be a linear relationship, so you actually see a line forming. The steps for approximating a line of best fit, what we will be doing is we will plot our data on graph paper. Basically, we'll be drawing a scatter plot, which hopefully we've gotten very used to this unit. Okay, then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use a ruler or some sort of straight edge to sketch the line that best approximates the data. So we're going to try to make sure that we have the pattern going, the correct steepness, and pretty close to the data points. All right, then what we're going to do is pick 2 points that are on or close to the line. I usually pick data points just because it's a little bit easiest, but you definitely do not have to do that. And then we are going to find the equation of that line. All right, so let's go ahead and get into an example and see if we can do this. All right, the table shows the number of hikers who have completed the Appalachian Trail from 1996 to 2000. So we've got the year 1996, 1998, 1999, and 2000, and here it says to let x be the number of years since 1996. So the x value actually is not going to be 1996. The x value on this one is actually going to be 0, because that would be 0 years from 1996. 1998 would be 2 years from 1996, 99 would be 3 years, and 2000 would be 4 years. So these are the x values that we're going to be using, and these are the y's. Okay, so the x is actually not the years, it's going to be the years after 1996. Okay, so I'm going to label that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then hikers completing the trail. So over here I'm going to put number of hikers, and then it looks like I have to get up to 600. So I'm going to actually go up by 100s, I think. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and draw those, my first one would be 0, 406, which is just a little bit after 400. And then we'll have 2, 403, which is just a teeny little bit under that one. And then we have 3, 552, which is going to be about halfway between 500 and 600. And then 4, 623. About right there. Okay, usually more than, we would want more than 4 data points for our example, but this is just, we want to kind of just see if there's a trend. So what we're going to try to do here, I can kind of see, and I'm just going to draw this, I should have a ruler, so on your paper you can actually use a ruler. But I can kind of see a trend that's looking something like that. Notice I tried to, as much as I could, kind of stick to either. I tried to get my points to be pretty close, and I tried to get it to go about the same there. So we're going to have, let's see, 7. I'm going to try to pick a couple points that are on this here. So I'm going to pick 7. This one goes up a little bit steeper than the one that I have on here. So this is going to be 7. I'll pick this point right here. Looks like that's 7, 1100. And then I'm just going to pick another one. It looks like that's kind of a good one that goes on it. Notice that I picked those because this one is just nicely in the intersection of 2 of those lines. So this would be 2, 500. Okay, and you could just as easily pick, if I would have made my line go through those 2 points, I could have just as easily picked those. So, okay, so now if I want the line of, oh, I just needed to draw the line of best fit. I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Never mind. Okay, describe the correlation. I would say I definitely think it's strong because the data points are pretty close to each other. And it's going in an upward direction, so it is a strong positive correlation. Okay, the next one we actually get to write the equation. So when I did those points, I just was stepping ahead of myself there. 7 and 1100, and the other one was 2, 500. Okay, and we hopefully know how to write an equation from here. We have x1, y1, x2, y2, so nothing new here. So I'm going to have, the slope is going to be y2 minus y1, so 500 minus 1100, and then over x2 minus x1, so 2 minus 7. That's going to give me negative 600 over negative 5. And let's see here, if I figure that out, grab my calculator out here. 600 divided by 5 is going to be 120. So the slope is 120. And then from here, once I get my slope, I pick either point. I think I'm going to pick this point right here. So I'm going to have y equals mx plus b. My y value is 500. My m is 120. My x is 2, and then plus b. So I'll get 500 equals 240 plus b. I'll subtract 240. And then b will equal 260. So the equation of the line of best fit would be y equals 120x plus 260. Okay, and then from here it says use your equation in number 4, which I just wrote, to approximate the number of hikers who completed the entire trail in 2007. Well, we remember we need years since 1996, so I'm going to take 2007 and subtract 1996 first. And that gives me 11. So there have been 11 years since then. So I'm going to take my equation, and instead of my x, I'm going to put in 11. So when I do 120 times 11, and then add 260, I get 1,580 hikers. So that would be an example. Your example might have turned out a little bit differently depending on how you drew your line. And again, since we only had 4 data points, it was really hard to get a super accurate line. I just wanted us to make sure that we could understand the process that we are going to go through. So hopefully now you can write an equation for a line of best fit.